welcome back to Crimson Glass on YouTube, and it is time for your site and story status update for February 2021. I had some hopes that 2021 was going to be better than 2020, but you would have thought I'd learned that lesson after I felt that way with 2019 and 2018 and 2017. Like, I'm tired of saying this year will be better. At some point, don't you just give up? Okay, so the last time we talked, it was actually my preview for the year. So we set some goals, and boy, did the first week of January really test my ability just to concentrate on anything other than the clusterfuck of the outside world. Let's just be honest. If you are new to this process, every month I upload a video and I write a post about the status of things. We do it in 3 parts. I talk about my general writing health. I just check in with you guys about my life just a little bit, not because you guys care about the minutia of my life, but just if you like my writing, my life tends to affect it. So I like to keep you guys in the loop. And then the second thing we talk about are the site and then the channel. So what's happening on the site? What do I hope to happen this month? And then on the channel, like what happened in January? Like I set goals in January. Did I meet them? And like what are my goals for February? And then the last thing we talk about is individual stuff, individual stories. So I'm going to start with flash fiction. We're going to check in on some of my projects, what's in progress, what's coming, and just like general stuff like that. Let's check in with January. We all lived through January, so I think we all know that the first week of January, distracting. Yeah, let's go with distracting. I came back from holiday break with one of my cycles, and my kids were great. Like my kids came back strong. It was just like a lot of hassle because basically I teach in 15-day cycles because I'm a French social studies teacher, which is a weird thing to state, but it is what I am. And my kids cycle out every 15 days, and they came back on Monday, and they were cycling out on Thursday, and I was getting a brand new set of kids on Friday. And you would think that being on break would mean I was ready for that, but I decided literally before that cycle started that I was going to completely rewrite everything I had been working on for 2 months. So like this, I've been writing digital textbooks for my culture class and for my language. Like I teach culture and language. We do French, and then I teach them about the French Empire through geography, culture, and history, depending on which grade you're in. And I rewrote my entire digital textbook in 2 weeks after working on it for 2 months. So that was a major project that was taking up a lot of my time, my stress, and my anxiety because like I was writing every lesson before the kids were doing it. So it was definitely like furiously laying the track as the train was barreling down. And there were just some days where I felt like I wasn't gonna make it. Like things were just gonna fall apart, and like I just thought about like quitting my job like 18 different times. And the anxiety about the world going on around us. We were supposed to go back to school on February 1st, and I was not. Everything else was just like my mental health for the first literally 19 days. I can actually pinpoint the moment where my brain completely fell apart, and it was during a live stream with my Patreons on Tuesday, January 19th. I really felt like I was at my lowest. And on Sunday, that Sunday before that, I actually thought about just quitting writing entirely. Like my mental health was not great in January. So I brought back Flash Fiction. That got done. We'll talk about it later. I was editing. We'll talk about it later. But like the quality of all of it, I would say depended on the day you caught me. So January 20th, things turned around, and I don't mean it to say just because of the inauguration, although I will say the inauguration, it helps that I don't wake up every morning wondering what the hell my president's going to tweet this morning and just like what disaster he's going to create while I'm like, it just like that helps. So like, yay for that. Um, but also I finished writing my digital textbooks. Like the fact that those digital textbooks are done, except for typos, it just I got my prep periods back. I got my life back, and it finishing that and being proud of what I did made things so much like it just made it so much easier. And the improvement of the world helped. Like there's still days where I'm just like I'm not doing okay. Like this morning, I really wanted to roll over and go back to bed and just call out, but like I didn't because my kids needed me, and like it's ridiculous to call out when like I have to go down the hallway. Like I got through the day, I'm done, and now I'm making the videos, and I'm gonna go do other things. But like yeah, you have ups and downs, and we are going back February 16th. That does look likely, and I was anxious about that in January. I'm feeling better now. I think I'm just in a better mental headspace to go back, so it's helpful. And I'm looking forward to getting out of my house on a regular basis. Even if it's just to walk out to my car, drive to work, walk into my building, sign in, and then go to my room where I am teaching remotely. Like I am not going back to students. I am going back to a little room with my computer to basically do what I do every day here. It's just a lot less comfortable and with a lot less technology. So, but I am going to be like leaving my house and putting on something other than yoga pants every day. So that's gonna be good. Uh, I'm hoping that does help with those bad days. I'm doing better than I was, I think, just 2 weeks ago, but there are still days, and we're all there, right? Like we're all just like we wake up every morning and hope that we put one foot in front of the other and that'll be okay, and then we'll get to the end of the day and do it again the next day. Like it's just that is life during COVID, so we're doing the best we can. Numbers appear to be going down in my state. Yesterday, our cases were at like under 3,000, which was the best it had been in weeks. Yeah, the cases went down again. They're just over 2,000. It's 2,021 cases. That is, it's better. We were at 6,000 just last week, so I think that helps. It does. So that's my like general, like we're doing okay. We're muddling along. We're hopefully the end is in sight. The vaccines are here. I am eligible, so when there are enough vaccines, because I'm a teacher and I have asthma, when there are enough vaccines, I'll be able to get an appointment. Right now, the appointments are until August, and I'm not even bothering at that point. I'm just waiting for more vaccines. Okay, so that's my check-in about like, am I living? Am I okay? Sure. Some days. Talk about site and channel next. What I had wanted to do in January was get onto a weekly upload schedule where I was at least uploading something every week, because I thought I'd be doing something every week. And what's really interesting is I actually did film like a ton, but I filmed on days where like I was procrastinating on doing anything else. So the quality of what I filmed was like not great. And then sometimes like I would film something for Fool Me Twice, and then like I would wait a week and it would like be out of date. So I never quite got into the schedule I was planning on. I'm like my plan was to film on Fridays because like I have an easier afternoon for the moment, and then edit on Saturdays, and then upload on Sundays. So, like that was the plan, and it just like never came together. For the site, actually, I'm happy to report that I didn't make any plans for the site in January, but I found that I had some extra time. I was actually able to take my lunch and not work through my lunch, and every once in a while, I toss some moments at my facelift. And it was working on that facelift all summer, where I was I'm still finishing up my overhaul of the alternate history site section, where I am rewriting the inspiration and timelines, and I'm adding graphics and moving stuff from short stories and fic lit categories and WordPress over to alternate. Like I'm just like reorganizing it so it's a little bit more streamlined, and so that you can find all of my alternate history stories on the same page, whether they are a novel or they are. Sorry, my cat's like butt is like right in the frame. Whether they're a novel or they are short stories, so like they're all on one page now. And so like I've been working on that, and I finished almost all the 2002 stories. The only thing that they don't all have is graphics, and that's because I haven't been able to finish organizing my screen cap collection, and I don't want to hold up doing the site just to do the screen caps. So I'd rather finish the site and go back later and add graphics. That's what I worked on this weekend. I also redid my production schedule to give myself more time before projects, because I realized that was a big thing that I was not taking for myself in 2020. I got a lot done, but I really didn't give myself a break. And what I did in December is I gave myself a break, sort of. I still doing stuff like surrounded, but like I did give myself some time off, and I think that that's something I want to make sure I concentrate on doing, is taking more time for me and being just like more patient with myself about taking that time. So I reorganized that, and then I just did some housekeeping stuff. So like I did work on this. I worked on the site which is like the first time I had done that since September. So that felt really good. So that's the site and channel. I got more stuff done in February so in February I just hope to keep working on getting into a routine with the channel. I do still want to add GH content to the site and to the channel, but I had a plan that I was going to start watching GH in days when the year started, and then I just didn't. And it hasn't. The show's not good right now. Neither show is good right now, and like I have so much going on, and there is so much good content out there that it is really hard to like talk myself into taking 20 to 30 minutes out of my day to fast forward through crap I don't want to watch. So when Liaison has a scene, someone will post it. And when the good stuff happens, someone posts it. And I keep up through that. Like, I know what's happening on the show, which is why I'm not like, I would love to be able to watch GH daily again, but I just can't see me working hard to put it back into my schedule, especially with everything else going on. It's the part of the video that most people are looking for anyway, and it's basically my individual story status update, where we check in individually with projects. I'm going to talk first about Flash Fiction. It took almost 3 months. I guess that was like really only 2.5 months off from Flash Fiction. I stopped writing mid-November, and then I came back in early January. So I guess like it really was not even that long. It felt like longer, I think, just because I'd been writing Flash Fiction for so long. And when I came back, I knew that I was not going to be able to come back with all 4 stories at once, because my attention was not going to be focused enough on that. And like it was fine to write that many stories in the summer when I really could. I was able to write full time, where I could write a little bit in the morning, take the time off, write in the afternoon, and then so it was a really great way in the summer to jumpstart my muse with like 20-minute writing. But I was actually really dissatisfied with the 20-minute entries. I really very much preferred what I write after 60 minutes, and like taking 60 minutes to write 4 times a week to write a story is hard. But I knew that I could do it 3 times a week, so I could either bring back 3 out of the 4 stories and work on them individually, or I could bring back 2 stories, update one twice, so it gets done faster, and then update the other one. So that's what we did. So the first week of January, I brought back a Shot in the Dark, which is the Cassadine story, and then I brought back a King's Command, my Scottish romance. And I finished A Shot in the Dark about a week and a half ago. At this point, yeah, it's almost 2 weeks ago at this point. Last weekend, I started double updates of King's Command. I was supposed to bring back Not Knowing When, but Saturday I have an ear situation that is not resolving itself, and I have to go to a doctor. But it combined with like sinus issues, and I just like was feeling very crappy on Saturday. So instead of doing Not Knowing When, I just canceled Saturday, and I'm bringing it back this weekend. And then once a King's Command is done, I'm going to be putting Not Knowing When on double updates and bringing back Signs of Life. And then once Not Knowing When is done, I'll do Signs of Life double updates. And then there's one more flash fiction I have to write before I take a break and reset and do it all over. And that is the third story that comes after A Shot in the Dark, which is the original story Tanya asked for in the first place. She had asked me to write a story, rewrite an Elizabeth story, and the story takes place in 2016. So either we don't have Steve's version of Jason, or we have Billy's version of Jason, who is like getting married to Sam. And what do I do? So like I either pick that up and take it out of that timeline, or it's like I had to play with it and decided to set it in 2012, but Jake was dead, so I had to bring back, like, it was a whole thing. So like I had my reasons. So I'm gonna write that third part, and then once that third part is done, and then all my flash fictions are done, I'm gonna take a minute. Whether that happens in April, May, or June, like whenever that happens, I'm gonna take a minute and just like reset and just like focus on why I do flash fiction, what is it doing for me, and like what are we doing here? Is basically we're gonna do that. So that's flash fiction. It's going right now. We're writing it every weekend. It is regular content for me, which is nice, and I know that most of you guys are really supportive of it. Flash fiction ended up being very stressful for me in January, though, and it's mostly because my mental health combined with a couple of my readers who were over enthusiastic and overly specific about me writing certain things on certain days. And intentions don't always matter when someone's brain is insane. And my brain on January, in that last, like, leading up to the January 20th, my brain was just like, it was just not good. So I almost wanted to like quit writing entirely, and that's not good. So I'm fine now. I'm better now, but I think I needed to hit that moment where I'm just like, I hate it all, and I want to quit writing, which is not true at all. But I definitely just had a bad day. Well, bad month, bad 3 weeks. But January 20th, like I just said, it all kind of turned around. So all right, let's talk briefly about For the Broken Girl Book 2. When I changed my production schedule, I shifted it from a May release to a June release. I had never been really firm about whether or not it was going to be May or June. But I'm glad now it's going to be June, because I am not starting that draft February 1st like I had intended. Editing Fool Me Twice, which I'll talk about later, just made it impossible for me to go into a new draft right now. It's not a big deal because Broken Girl is pretty much ready to go. The only thing I have to do is soundtrack, and honestly, I can finish soundtracking in a couple of days. So I'm like going to do that. I'm going to work on that all weekend, all month, and then try to really make sure it's finished for March 1st. I'm going to do the alpha draft March and April, and then I'm going to be editing in May and releasing towards the end of June. So that's the plan right now. I don't know how much editing it's going to need. Right now, I did like set a firm release date. I may or may not push that out. It depends on how long the draft takes me. The draft might not take me long, to be honest. Let's talk about Mad World Book 4. Mad World Book 4, I've talked about it very shortly. It's not soundtracked. Is it? No. It is broken down by scene. It's just not soundtracked, so I have to soundtrack that at some point. I'll be writing that this summer. It'll be out in October. And then the series will be done. I promise you I am not bringing it back again. We're ready to move on from Mad World. I'm ready. At least for now. No. For good. Good. Please, someone slap me if I try to write a book 5. I'm not going to get too much in the weeds on Fool Me Twice and editing because A, it has its own vlog series, And if you are watching this video, you're probably someone who reads the actual blog updates I post. And I did post on January 31st, that I was changing up the release schedule for book one. And what that means is that instead of getting all 38 chapters of book one on February 23rd, you are going to get 20 chapters on February 23rd, and then the last 18 on March 23rd. So about a month apart. That was just necessary because, again, I always feel really bad because there's nothing wrong. Fool Me Twice is like none of the problems I've had with this particular project is the problem of the story. Every time I show up, the story's there and it's ready to be there and ready to work, and I feel really good about it. But then there are just days where I make myself edit or write and I shouldn't have, and I lost 3 weeks of editing, to be honest. I think that by the end of the month, I was only done 11 chapters. And I would say the last week of February, I did 3 chapters entirely. And just, I had one or two really good editing days where I was able to put away a lot. And then January was almost a loss in some ways. Because I like what I did for the most part in the first 11 chapters that I have edited. And that is, even on today, I only have 11 chapters done. And I just knew that the only way you were going to get 38 chapters on February 23rd was to give you kind of the crappy first draft. And let me be clear, when I say crappy first draft, I mean it's messy. It's a messy first draft. A lot of the scenes weren't even like spell checked. Like I type so fast that I misspell Elizabeth's name in like half the times I write it. And I've got a bunch of scenes where I keep mixing up Victor and Andre, and I don't know why that is because like they're very different characters. And like it's messy. So I could never give it to you in the draft that it is now, but there was no way I was gonna have 38 chapters without rushing and not making. There were some changes I wanted to make that I just decided, like, there are scenes I wanted to add and I wasn't adding them because it's just like I don't have actual time to sit down and write a brand new scene like I do. And like that's not how editing works. Like if the story needs the scene and the story needs the scene, we need to have Kim actually in the freaking story. And I was able to talk myself out of it by saying, "Oh well, nobody really cares about Kim." And like, isn't that the whole reason I decided to tackle it? Like, I could have told the story without Kim and Oscar, but I chose to tackle it because I thought I have a more interesting way to talk about it. But it only works if I actually put Kim in the freaking story. So, like I said, I don't want to get too much in the weeds about it, but it was just like I was rushing the edits and like the quality. The 38 chapters you would have gotten if I had managed it. Like, I'm not even sure I would have managed it. I was either going to completely blow past that due date and you were to get 0 because the first even the first 5 chapters need to be edited again. Like I need to go through them again. There's still typos, especially for chapters 1, 8, and 9, which were brand new. Tons of typos in there. And there were inconsistencies because I was rushing it and not taking my time. So I split it in half, and I made sure to split it. I didn't split it directly in half. I stopped it after a chapter where I feel like where I leave the characters and the plots, you both feel satisfied, like you didn't waste your time reading 20 chapters, but you should also feel like, okay, I want to come back for the rest. Now, this may or may not mess me up for Broken Girl, because I will be editing at the same time. But I also think that I have just given myself and I also it eats into the break I'd given myself between projects. So like we'll see. And if I have to push back Broken Girl to a July release date, like it is not the end of the world. I'll be writing flash fiction. It's not like you guys won't have me there, and I definitely do not want to be splitting my next release. So, in some ways, like I shouldn't give you guys actual release dates, but like I don't because I can change my release date if I need to. I do. So, that's the big thing with Fool Me Twice is that like I split the release into 2. No big deal. When I release the ebook, they're all one book. They're all one narrative. I would not say that you like the 20 chapters you get is a solid like narrative. Like the way when I split book Mad World into 2 books, like that was actually literally 2 books. Could you stop? I would never say that about Fool Me Twice the way I'm splitting it. The other thing is that when I do books 2 and 3 next year, if all things go right, which it's we'll see. I will be going into Discovery for the next book in September or August, depending on how Mad World's production schedule goes. And I'm actually going to do something I don't normally do, but because I feel like it will actually be better for me, I'm going to do the Discovery for books 2 and 3 at the same time. And I'm going to break down and know every inch. I want to know how I'm going to end the story when I go into the next book. Like, and I know how I'm gonna end it, but like I want to know the minutia. Like I want to know the small details. So I'm gonna do discovery at the same time, and I'm gonna write the alpha at the same time. So I'm basically gonna be writing 2 first drafts at the same time. So I'm giving myself 3 full months to write that first draft. 6 weeks for each. So we'll see how long I need. If I need more, I'll take it. And then editing it separately, and then that's kind of where I want to do. And then the next time, if I ever write another trilogy like this, I don't have any other on the market. Like everything else I've got, this is like the last big trilogy I'm writing. I am going to be doing that where I will actually do the discovery for the whole trilogy at once, and I will do alpha draft for the whole trilogy at once, and then I will break up the editing. I think I think it would read as a smoother. I think book one, even this book one, will not be as good as if I do that in the future. I don't think that I'm going to need to. I don't have any other trilogy ideas, but like you just never know with me. All right, so that is it. Fool Me Twice. It's going. You will get, and believe it or not, by the time you see this, you'll be getting it the first 20 chapters in 2 weeks. I'm really excited. I am incredibly proud of this book. The reason why I want it to be good. I don't want to rush it. I know that what I have written is good. I know that I could clean it up and make it okay enough, but that's not what I'm satisfied with. I think I was so happy with how Mad World Book 3 came together with all of the time I put into editing it that I would not be satisfied with anything less for Fool Me Twice, because I really feel like I took a storyline that completely bombed on the show, and I took characters that completely bombed. Like I really like the way I wrote my Oscar. I really like the way I'm writing Drew and Sam, and I really like the way I'm writing Carly. Like I took characters that like drive everybody crazy, and I feel like I have helped make them better. I hope you guys will have to let me know. Okay. Thanks for watching. I will hope when we check in March, I am looking forward to kind of telling you like, yay, Fool Me Twice, it went so well. I can't wait because that's what I